Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you a recipe that I have had many requests for, and I'm also going to be cleaning my kitchen, so I thought I'd take you guys along. So I will link this recipe down below, but it is called shepherd's pie baked potatoes, and this is just a little scrubber. I think it's actually for carrots, but I'm using it to clean my potatoes. So like I said, I'll link it down below and I'll put all the ingredients and information that you need down there. But I'm starting out with 4 large baking potatoes, and I'm just scrubbing them really good, and then I'm going to bake those for about an hour. So you need to get, if you're going to make this, you need to get this done earlier, ahead of time, so that you have time to finish everything else. So now I'm just taking a fork and I'm just poking holes on both sides of the potatoes. Everyone probably bakes potatoes their own way. You can do them in the air fryer as well, but I just do them this way. I just put them on tin foil, poke holes in both sides after I've scrubbed them, and I put them in a 400-degree oven for about 1 hour, but it does depend on the size of your potatoes. So these are kind of bigger potatoes, so it took a little longer. And then I just put a little canola oil or olive oil, whatever you have, on top of each potato. And then I'm going to sprinkle some of my pink sea salt on top of that, and then just rub them together. Of course, you can omit the salt if you want. It just gives the skin a nice crispy, salty flavor. It reminds me of like a steakhouse. So now they're ready to go in the oven, and I cooked these for about an hour and 10 minutes. I checked them after an hour, and I wanted to just make sure that they were done, so it was about 70 minutes total. So now it's been close to an hour, and I am going to start on the rest of it. So I just used almost a pound. You can use a pound, or you can use actually as much as you want. Ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey. I use ground chicken a lot, so that's what I'm using here. And then I diced about a half of an onion, and I'm just going to cook that in with the ground chicken so that the onions will soften. Okay, so now that my meat mixture is cooked thoroughly, I'm going to add some garlic. You can add minced garlic like I did, or garlic cloves, and just salt and pepper to taste. And I'm just going to mix that together, and then I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients and simmer them on the stove top. So this is about 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce, or however you say it, a can of tomato paste, and then 1½ cups of beef broth, but I just used the bouillon and water. And you just want to simmer this. You want to cook it down. I simmered it for about 15 to 20 minutes just to let it thicken up a little bit. Actually, I did that after I added these. 2 cups of vegetables. They're thawed but not cooked all the way through. So now I let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes, and it does thicken up a lot. It might seem like it's way too juicy, but it does thicken as you cook it. So now the potatoes have cooled a little bit, but they are pretty hot, so you gotta be careful. And I like to scoop the insides of the potatoes out. You can make these without scooping the insides out. You just kind of cut the insides up a little bit and then put your topping on top of your potatoes. But I like to scoop them out and then season the potato, and then I actually add it on the top. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just scooping out all the insides of my potatoes. And you want to make sure that they're done enough so that it's soft and that you're not scooping out hard potato, because no one likes the hard baked potato. So then I just add my butter, salt, and pepper. That's what I like to add to my mashed potatoes. Of course, you can add milk or cream or whatever, but when I make them like this, I don't add any milk to it. I like them to be a little firmer, and I could literally eat this whole bowl with a spoon, no problem. Potatoes are my favorite food ever. So now I'm just taking a 9x13 casserole and spraying it with cooking spray, and then I'm just going to lay the potatoes in the pan. You could cut them up, but for some reason I just kept them together this time, but the last one I did have to break apart. And then you're just going to take your delicious filling and fill each of these potatoes to overflowing. This made so much. I could have probably done a couple more potatoes and had plenty for it. So you can adjust this to your however many people you're cooking for. And after I fill the potatoes, and don't worry about it spilling over, because you'll still eat that too. But then I'm just going to then put my potato topping on top of that. And since I didn't use milk or cream or anything, you know, they're a little stiff, which is good though, because you don't want them to just kind of melt down the sides. So they stay a little stiff, but they are so amazing. And it kind of looks messy now, but don't worry. it's going to turn out amazing. So I hope you guys give this recipe a try, because this is definitely one of my top 5 favorites. And then of course it has to be topped with cheese. I mean, that makes everything better. So obviously this is optional, but it is amazing with cheese on top, trust me. So now I'm just going to stick this back into the oven at 400, and you just want to watch it. Don't let it burn, but everything is already hot. You just want to melt that cheese, and ooh, look at that. So good. I wish I was eating this right now. It is so good. I'm not kidding. One of my top favorite dinners I make. So I am just going to plate this up, and Marion and I thoroughly enjoyed this dinner. So now that dinner is eaten and there's some leftovers for the next day, which I always love, it's now time to clean the kitchen. So I'm going to take you guys along, and I'm going to knock it out so that I can wake up to a clean kitchen. right, it is now time to hook up my dishwasher, let that run for about an hour. The kitchen is nice and clean, and I love to light candles after I clean. This is a pumpkin waffle candle, so I finally pulled out a little taste of fall. I've not quite committed to fall yet, but I wanted my house to smell like pumpkin, and oh my goodness, that candle is so amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I hope this gave you some motivation and great recipe to try. See you in my next video. Bye bye.